There's Perp back with another video, and this is going to be my recap of episode 7, 8, and 9. Before I get into the finale, I'm going to quickly, as quick as possible, recap episode 7, 8, and 9 because I didn't do reviews on them. So I'm going to just kind of give you a brief description and just point out like the more important parts that are leading up to the season finale. Now, starting with episode 7. Okay. Franklin is talking a deal with Teddy about his goals, and he gives this really dope speech or this dope conversation about McDonald's and how he wants to build this crack business into a franchise. And Teddy has he's kind of out of resources at the moment, so he's just going along with whatever Franklin is telling him and whatnot, and he's liking the idea, but I feel like to him it seems a little bit too ambitious, but I think it's going to play out all right in the future. But then we go over to Aunt Louie, or if you want to just call her Louie, is having her and Claudia are button heads. They get into an epic fight, one of the best fights in the whole entire series. It was a cool little cat fight, you know. And I like how they kind of teased that that Claudia was dead, but it comes out to find out she wasn't. She just got knocked the fuck out. But also another key thing that might just play into season 3, because I don't believe Claudia is done yet. I think she's going to be another major player for the series going forward. But yeah, it sucks that Louie has to go through this because she's really trying to figure out her place in this in this world and whatnot. But then we go back to Teddy, and Teddy thinks everything is sweet. You know, he really acts nonchalant sometimes, and just acts like everything he's in control of everything. And when he's not, this kind of blows up in his face. The Colombians meet him at the airport, asking about their money and whatnot, where the money. So exchange until Teddy can come up with the money. They take his brother, and that starts his little arc. You know, this little kidnapping arc, and he has to figure out how he's going to get his brother back. How we're going to figure this out, because he's kind of, at this point, Teddy is kind of in a tough spot. And he's got a lot to figure out. That's all I got to say about that. But now, going to Lucia, she finds out that Pedro's girlfriend, how do you fucking pronounce it? I'm going to call her Sal. She figures out that Sal is a Fed in the previous episode, because in the previous episode they get ambushed. Well, not ambushed, but like also pretty much had to take out 3 dudes and whatnot, and that pretty much gave up her cover. And I really like how they ended this episode with this, and it seemed like a perfect plan. But it kind of blows up in it kind of blows up in Lucia's face towards the next episode. But so Lucia takes Pedro. Sal stays there. I'm just gonna call her Sal, so just bear with me because I can't pronounce her name right now. The episode pretty much ends with Lucia getting rid of Pedro. And Pedro says something really interesting in this whole thing. He says, "You're worse than a rat." And I'm like, damn, she really is. And Pedro just, he said he made his bed. He's cool. He's fine with his repercussions. He's at peace. And now Pedro is gone. On to the next episode. We got episode 8, leaving off with Lucia being pretty distraught that she had to take out her cousin, and they were pretty close. We were with these two since season 1, and it sucks. But now Lucia's got a bigger problem. Oso's been arrested and is in police custody, and now they want her to turn herself in also. And what's interesting about that is they're now throughout this whole episode, they're getting ready to snitch on Matt and Teddy and just give them up. But Lucia gets herself into some other shit, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. We go off to Franklin having this really savage moment with conversation with his mother about her finances and the house and whatnot, and she still won't accept it. And Franklin's just like, fuck it, if you won't accept it, who needs you, pretty much. He pretty much says fuck it. I Franklin was cold in this scene, though. He was really, really cold. I wouldn't talk to my mom like that. But on to the next issue. Leon. Now, Leon, he's going through his own shit with his girlfriend, Wanda. Wanda, in the last episode, I forgot to mention, she was caught stealing from Franklin. And Franklin snapped on her. And he had all the right to do that. And, Leon said, I will handle it. And now, in this episode, she robbed the stash house. So she's really wilding. He's trying to do his own way, his own method of just trying to get her clean, trying to get her in her right mind and whatnot, because Wanda is really fucked up. This is our first legit crackhead, and it's pretty crazy to look at that. But I'll touch on that a little bit later when I get to episode 9. We have another situation with Teddy where there's a new person in charge of this operation, and Teddy's going all this trying to figure out who's this guy, what does he know, and it's pretty much Teddy's kind of paranoid, so he's ready to give up the Colombians and whatnot. But we'll just see how that plays out in the season finale also. But now on to the Kev situation, because these last few episodes, Kev was left with a decision to give Lucia and Oso the recipe, and Franklin already told them no. And now Kev's already told them, so now that's in effect, and Franklin completely leaves trust in Kev. And what he's trying to stop Kev from doing is starting a war. So him and Leon go to the park and try to stop Kev from sparking this war. And Kev and Franklin have this dope like interaction, saying like, yo, you're not built for this, you're a traitor to your own people, saying like Kev is definitely a martyr. And it was stated, I'm gonna wait till episode 9, because Franklin had to make a decision here, just like Kev had to make a decision with the recipe. And I think those two factors were very key for the story of Snowfall. And now this situation is going to ripple into whatever is to come to season 3 or the season finale. Franklin shoots Kev, and that's how this episode ends. So now we're gonna shift over to episode 9. And man, this episode was straight chaos. Like it, there's so much shit that just blew up. Like all right, Franklin is freaking out because he shot Kevin. He's never shot nobody before, and I always said this about Franklin. I was like, he relied so much on not like getting his hands dirty that he thought he would never have to get his hands dirty, and he probably never would have thought that it would have to be one of his best friends that he had to just stop. Now, Franklin could have gone about this situation completely different. He could have just tackled. He could have honestly just tackled Kev, and that could have stopped everything. But who knows? Now, what we got in this episode, that now the feds are looking for Franklin because what's her face, Salad Face. I'm gonna call her Salad Face. That's actually pretty good. She saw Kev there, lying there. She got a good look. She didn't know who was the shooter. She just saw two black dudes running off. She tried to press Lucia about it, saying, "Yo, you got to tell me this person's name before you're going to be in even worse in even worse trouble." Sorry for stuttering. Um, and Lucia is pretty much, her back's against the wall because she has made so many different enemies. The dude that Kev was going for saw Lucia in the car, so she already has a target on her back. Um, and that was actually pretty crazy too, because that dude actually ends up catching up with Lucille, stomping the shit out of her, fucking her up. Also was fucking this nigga up, but he also got fucked up. Also is pretty much dead. Which was that was pretty tough. That one hit me really hard because also was really dope. They're saying now the feds are looking for Franklin because he's wanted for murder. Um, which I have a theory on that. I don't think Kev is dead. I think because this is the oldest trick in Hollywood. If you don't see the body, he is not dead. He's probably made a deal because pretty much he took a shot in a public area, so they're probably going to try to get him for attempted murder. So they probably made a deal with him, say, "Hey, yo, you give us Franklin. You know what I'm saying? You give us Franklin. You know what I'm saying? You might have to do any of this. But if he is dead, that right there for their neighborhood set a spark, which I really like. I like that aspect of it because now it's just like now you're gonna have different neighborhoods trying to come up and whatnot, and that's gonna set the foundation for season 3. And that's why I said Kev is pretty much now, if he is dead, he's going to be a martyr. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna look at Franklin crazy. While this is all going on, um, Javi Avi pops up at Teddy's crib looking for Teddy because he owes Avi some money also, and he runs into the Colombians, and they all try to make a deal, which I think Avi is planning something down the line for probably next season. I think a lot of this is like a lot of these things won't be resolved until next season. Um, but yeah, like Franklin's run for murder. Everybody's looking for him. Oh yeah, Louis tells Franklin like, I could get you. You could leave town now. We could send you to Baton Rouge and shit. Nobody will ever know that you're there and whatnot. You know, we could leave tonight, this night. But what Franklin dumbass ends up doing is going to his mom's house, knowing damn well they're watching his mom's house. He tries to be all slick with it, but you know, now Franklin is locked up. We gotta figure out what the hell's gonna happen with him. And not to mention, Wanda's crackhead ass is missing, and she's gone somewhere. So that's gonna be trouble for Leon if he can't find her. Um, there's just so much going on. I cannot wait to watch the season finale tonight. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification button so you could check it out. I might do it live. I don't know yet. I won't have any visuals for it, which sucks. But I'm definitely going to have that video once it airs. It's done airing. I'm gonna do my little predictions, whatever, little predictions at the end of it. But until then, thanks for tuning in. I'll check y'all guys tonight. Peace.